Brazil, a country, a culture of football empire. In the history of the sport, many nations have enjoyed success. Some have won trophies, some have produced great teams, others have experienced unforgettable generations. But only one nation became synonymous with football itself: Brazil. When people think about beautiful football, they think about Brazil. When children dream of playing with freedom, flair, and creativity, they think about Brazil. And when footballers are asked about the greatest football nation of all time, Brazil is almost always part of the conversation, because Brazil is more than a team. It is an identity. For decades, Brazil has represented everything football fans love about the game: skill, passion, creativity, joy. From dusty streets to the biggest stadiums on earth, Brazil has produced players who changed football forever. Names that became legends. Players whose influence extended beyond goals and trophies. Players who inspired entire generations. When footballers speak about Brazil, they rarely begin with statistics. They rarely mention numbers. Instead, they talk about memories, moments, magic, because Brazil has always been a nation that creates moments the world never forgets. From Pele to Zico, from Romario to Ronaldo, from Ronaldinho to Kaká, from Neymar to the next generation, every era seems to produce another superstar, another artist with a football at his feet, another player capable of doing the impossible. That is why Brazil remains unique. Most countries experience one golden generation. Brazil creates them repeatedly, and that is something footballers deeply respect. They know how difficult greatness is. They know how hard it is to stay at the top. Yet Brazil has managed to remain relevant across generations, across decades, across different styles of football. The game changes, the tactics change, the players change, but Brazil remains Brazil. And perhaps that is their greatest achievement. Footballers often describe Brazil as the nation that made them fall in love with football. Not because Brazil always wins, but because Brazil reminds people why football is beautiful. The freedom, the confidence, the imagination, the courage to try something extraordinary. That spirit has defined Brazilian football for more than half a century, and it continues to inspire players all around the world. For many professionals, facing Brazil was never just another match. It was an experience, an event, a test, because wearing the yellow shirt means carrying one of the greatest legacies in sports history. Every Brazilian player understands that expectation. Every generation knows the pressure. Millions expect excellence. Millions expect victory. And somehow, Brazil continues to produce players capable of handling that responsibility. That is one reason why footballers respect them so much. Not simply because they are talented, but because they perform while carrying enormous expectations. Few countries face that level of pressure. Few countries are judged so harshly. For Brazil, winning is often expected. Anything less becomes a disappointment. And yet the country continues to produce world-class talent year after year. When defenders speak about Brazilian attackers, they often mention unpredictability, the ability to create something from nothing, the ability to change a game in a single moment, a sudden dribble, an unexpected pass, a brilliant piece of skill. Brazilian football has always been associated with creativity. While some teams focus on structure, Brazil often combines structure with imagination, and that combination can be devastating. Football legends frequently describe Brazilian players as entertainers, not entertainers in a negative way, but artists, players capable of bringing joy to the game, players capable of making the impossible appear easy. Perhaps no nation has contributed more iconic football moments than Brazil. The tears, the celebrations, the goals, the victories, the heartbreaks, they are all part of football history, and every footballer grows up watching those moments, learning from them, being inspired by them. Even players who never supported Brazil often admit they admired Brazilian football because there is something universal about it, something that transcends nationality, something that connects with football fans everywhere. When footballers are asked about Brazil, their answers often sound remarkably similar: respect, admiration, appreciation, because they understand what Brazil represents. Not just a football team, not just a country, a symbol of football itself, a reminder of why people fell in love with the game. And perhaps that is the greatest compliment any nation can receive. Because trophies can be matched, records can be broken, Achievements can be surpassed, but becoming part of football's identity, that lasts forever. Brazil achieved that long ago. And that is why, generation after generation, footballers continue to speak about Brazil with admiration. Not because of what Brazil was, but because of what Brazil continues to mean. To players, to fans, to football Brazil, a football nation unlike any other, a legacy unlike any other, and a story that is still being written. There will be new stars, new moments, new memories, new chapters, and the football world will be watching, waiting to see who emerges next, waiting to see which young talent carries the legacy forward, waiting to witness another piece of Brazilian magic. Because some teams win trophies, some teams create history, but only a few become legends. Brazil became a legend long ago, and that is why whenever footballers are asked about Brazil, their answers say it all.